Hey, Frank, this is Ryan with TrendLizard.com. Hope all is well. Got your email. Thanks for sending it to me. I'm going to take a look at a few stocks for you per your request. We're going to take a look at CLF, Cleveland Cliffs. We're going to take a look at CRWD, which is CrowdStrike, and then TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor. All three of which I believe we've looked at for you before, if not for you, for somebody else, but I've definitely taken a look at these guys before. And we're going to run them through. A little shameless plug first. For those of you watching this video who don't know, we recently started a new service at TrendLizard.com. We're now covering stocks as well as cryptocurrency to add to the ETF analysis and overall market analysis that we've done previously using Elliott Wave Theory to forecast all these things. You want to understand why the market moves as it does. Elliott Wave Theory is the answer, and we can prove it to you at TrendLizard.com, so come visit us. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few charts here, a few stocks. We're going to start with CLF here. It was incepted back in 1988. Had a really nice run, obviously. Pennies on the dollar, all the way up to a triple-digit move here in what looks to me like the end of a larger five-wave move. Whatever this move is, I'm very comfortable calling it trendy. Obviously, something ended in 2008. And since then, CLF has majorly changed direction. It pulled back, gave a massive ABC pullback that retraced the vast majority of the gains achieved over the prior 2 decades. But once it found a low in early 2016, it has stabilized and has been constructive to the upside since then. So that's kind of the long-term time frame. Has bullish potential to be sure because the upside action looks trendy. And this downside move here very much looks like a three-wave move. Obviously, it was a gigantic decline. But at the end of the day, it still looks like an ABC move, as you can see here. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this this upside action right here. Wrong chart. Here we go. So this action off the 2016 low, you had this initial up leg, a trendy leading diagonal that completed, and then in came a 3-year counter trend pullback. Obviously, it took forever to play out. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it was very clearly an ABC move, a counter trend affair, and that came to roost when the low was recorded in 2020 and price shot up to new highs, confirming the counter trend nature of this move. So this is bullish. Obviously, overall, the action off 2016's low is currently a three-wave move, and it needs to continue higher to maintain the potential that this represents the resumption of the uptrend. Now, in order to do that, we want to see CLF stay above 12 at all times. Obviously, that's not super close, but on a longer-term time frame, that's an important level to watch. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this action off the 2020 low. Here's a look at that move. This move looks trendy to me. We have a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move, ended in an ending diagonal, kind of some funky action here, but pretty clearly, once it's over, looks like an ending diagonal. And again, the overall move looks like a trendy 5-wave move, as it should. Since it completed in mid-2021, it's been trading back and forth. It's broken down pretty substantially, pretty sharply in 2022, like so many things have, and it has now moved into the yellow Fibonacci retracement area, meaning it has retraced 38.2% to 61.8% of this up leg right here, and that's what I consider a Fibonacci retracement area. Again, it needs to stay above 12 to remain bullish overall. Otherwise, that larger recovery pattern is going to look like a counter trend move. But so far, so good. Let's continue to drive in. We're just going to take a look at this action here to the downside. And it does look like counter trend movement. And that's why at this time, overall, I'm still bullish on CLF because you can see this is an ABC move. Looks like a three-way move. The high was retested. It's traded back and forth for several months before this breakdown here. So on a larger time frame, we got to see that as a bullish thing. If we're getting trendy upside moves and then we're getting counter trend downside moves, really the only objective expectation is for the trend to continue up once this counter trend pullback completes, the one that began in August. Now, it doesn't look like it's quite over yet. Looks like we can get an additional subdivision to the downside to complete this ending, what looks like an ending C-wave decline. If it can turn around and move above 21, that would certainly be a bullish thing. Some people may not want to wait that long. What we'd like to see, just to have some indication that a low is in, is to, once this down leg completes, to see some trendy upside action to really pave the way for the resumption of the uptrend. So I do think it's bullish. A low needs to happen somewhere above 12, and then we want to see some trendy upside price action. A move above 21 is probably a luxury, but that would certainly be bullish if that was able to happen. Otherwise, you just got to kind of wait, respect additional weakness, and look for that opportunity once this counter trend pullback ends on CLF. So let's go ahead and move on. We're going to take a look at CRWD, CrowdStrike Holdings. Here's the chart. Incepted back in 2019, not 1919. That would be a long time ago. Had some back and forth, had a little ABC pullback into the 2020 low. Once it recorded a low there, it gave us a nice 5-wave advance to the upside, as you can see here. And once that hit its head in September or maybe August of 2020, a much larger pullback began from there. So let's go ahead and take a little bit more, look at a little bit more detail of that move here. This looks at more detail of that 5-wave advance and why we're labeling it as we are. Every up leg does look like a nice 5-wave move. Every pullback looks like a nice counter trend ABC move, as you can see on the way up here. I believe the high did occur in late August, and then it looks to me like an ABC wave that is now retraced a Fibonacci portion of this nice 5-wave up leg here. So the potential is there that this pullback that we're seeing here is just a correction of this nice 5-wave advance here, and that once that correction completes, price will turn higher. That is the thesis that we're working with. Of course, we need some proof of that, and we want to see some kind of sign of a low before we buy. We try not to buy things when they're trending down because you don't have a logical place to put your stop or a logical understanding of what needs to happen for you to be right, because otherwise it can just keep going down and you have no logical place to exit. So we need to see some type of logical end to this pullback, see some trendy upside action, then things get more interesting. Let's go ahead and zoom in on this action in late 2021. This shows a little bit more detail what I'm talking about, that pullback off of August high, A, B, C. Again, looks like it could be nearing an end. For wave C, should be a 5-wave move. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and what could be a 5th wave down. A pretty good indication that things are changing would be a move above 200, because that would be a substantial enough retracement of this 5th and final wave to the downside. And again, would just love to see some trendy upside action to suggest that this ABC pullback is over. I think it's important, especially in the current market when things are really heavy and quite scary, actually, to make sure that we get some indication of a low before we try to grab these things. So be careful until we get that, but certainly the potential is there once we see it turn back up to the upside from this breakdown that's been happening since November. So there is CRWD. Moving on now to TSM, Taiwan Semiconductors. This guy has been on quite a run since the early 2000s, had a big up leg near its inception in the late 90s, gave most of it back in the dot-com bubble there, and then embarked on a very large advance that is still underway today. Looks like a leading diagonal first wave, a second wave pullback, and everything since then fits as a third wave advance that could be getting much closer to a high, and likely is, but so far continues to look bullish. Once this up leg does find a high, we would have to expect a larger 4th wave correction, and then a 5th wave up to complete a larger 5-wave advance to the upside off of that low. Now, the last time we had a pullback of the degree that we will get once this 3rd wave advance completes is what happened in the financial crisis back in 2007 through 2009. That was pretty substantial. Doesn't look that big once you put it into this kind of time frame here, but it was substantial. So we need to be aware of that and understand what we're looking at once this up leg completes. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. We're just taking a look at this advance off of the 2019 low to the upside here, because once this 5-wave move completes here, it would look like this entire 3rd wave advance, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be over, and that's when you start getting that larger pullback. So again, let's go ahead and zoom in and look at this action here. So here is the 5-wave move that's been in progress since 2019. Nice first wave up, second wave pullback, nice third wave up, very obvious 4th wave pullback. The expectation, once we started moving to the upside and started setting a new high, was that wave 5 was probably underway, that wave 4 completed here, and that 5th wave was happening already. I'm not as sure about that now, and I'll show you why. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Here's that 4th wave pullback, very clear, counter trend price action. Could have ended, wasn't a very impressive C wave down, but certainly could have ended. And then you start getting this upside action here that has trendy potential to it, maybe a first, maybe a second, and then a breakout that set a marginal new advance high above this high back here in early 2021. But as soon as it did, it's reversed. And if you look at the up leg off of October's low, so far it looks like a 3-wave move. If it continues to break down and moves below 120, this up leg is going to look as if it's left as a 3-wave move, That's not what we should be seeing if it's a fifth wave. If it's a three-wave move, we'd have to wonder, is a larger fourth wave pullback happening? And we're seeing that in so many places across the market right now, larger fourth wave pullbacks. It seems pretty feasible that that could be happening here as well. So if it moves below 120, really our only objective take at that point would be is that a larger fourth wave pullback is happening. That would look something like this, where we consider that an ABC move to the upside with still some downside action, probably back towards those 2021 lows to complete that fourth wave before the true fifth wave takes hold and carries this guy to new highs. So on a short-term time frame, you can be bullish as long as it's above 120. If it moves below 120, you got to think we're heading back towards these lows here before price is able to turn up in a more sustainable fashion and give us the true trendy five-wave, fifth-wave advance to new highs. So, Frank, I hope that's helpful. Always a pleasure. Everybody else, please come visit us. Check out our new service. We're covering a whole bunch of different stocks, 21 different stocks every day, 41 different ETFs, 10 different cryptocurrencies, all for about the cheapest price you'll find for anywhere you looking for this type of analysis. So hope you all have a wonderful week ahead. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.